Hello, everyone. This is Siobhan Beasley. She's one of our special guests. Unfortunately, she won't be able to make it tonight, but here she is. She's going to be talking a little bit about her work. Siobhan, can you tell us a little bit about the pieces that are in the Virtual Vortex Gallery?
Sure. Thank you, Andy. And thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. And sorry I can't be there. I am in Norway sleeping. Um, so today we have Moonchild, and We Didn't Start the Fire. Moonchild was created during quarantine and COVID. I've been living in Norway with my husband, and it's been very quiet. And we've had a lot of snow, and at this time of year, it's very dark. So I've felt personally just very contemplative and have started meditating a lot. And this little photo collage just somehow came out of me one morning, and I really have fallen in love with it. It reminds me a lot of how much I love nature and how connected I feel to the universe. And even though there's no other people in this image, like how connected I feel to just everybody. And then the second piece has a different tone. We Didn't Start the Fire. I made this actually when I was a little bit angry. I was a lot of my artwork comes from a place of where I am personally and like what emotions I'm feeling in that moment. Um, one of my art heroes, Barbara Kruger, her kind of signature style has been ripped off by like countless artists and countless brands, but this one brand in particular, Supreme, has like completely taken her type, and and now they're suing people for when those people use that type as though they were the inventors of Helvetica. And I just was really frustrated by it. And then I just got frustrated by consumerism and the fact that Supreme was charging just like $1 billion for like a sweatshirt, and that conspicuous consumption and overconsumption is like drowning us and drowning the planet in like plastic, and just like literally we're swimming in garbage. So that's where this came from. So,
That's
yeah.
amazing. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I did not know that. This is such a cool insight on your work. I totally understand. And now let's look at a little bit more of your work. I'm at your photo illustrations, collages. What are these? Like, tell us a little bit about your. Is this like newer work? Is this old work? Like, what's? Tell us more about this.
Great. Okay. So yes, and it's new and old. I have been fascinated by like pattern and texture and like mosaic and sort of like fitting the pieces of a puzzle together, um, but having it look cool at the end of the day and not just like I threw a bunch of garbage together. Um, and I apparently I've been doing this since I was a little girl. My mom would ask me to clean my room, and instead of cleaning the room, like a couple hours later, she'd come back and I would have like made a mosaic of all of the toys on my floor. So I have like a beautiful mind sort of situation going on. Just kidding. Um, but so that's translated into how I play with photography. And since we've been in quarantine and like COVIDing for the past year, I've been fascinated by the idea of taking a brand's just ecom images, like they're just like on model shot with a white background, but taking those and then putting them into a new background, a new foreground, and creating some sort of like really striking visual image just from like a semi-boring ecom image, since we're not really able to be in studio and shooting that much. Um, so so I'm pretty excited about these, and I have had some interest from a couple of brands, and I'd like to push it even further because this can be done virtually. It's way cheaper than a big fashion shoot, although like nothing beats a fashion shoot. That's like so fun. But this is just something that can be done from anywhere in the world, and I'm super jazzed to keep exploring it.
Yeah, they're very, very like uh they're so like unique but still like very consistent with each other. Like they all kind of like talk to each other. How are you able to like how did you like figure that out? Like, do you have like a process of like looking at other work and be like, how do I match that, or does it just kind of happen on its own? Like, how does that happen?
That's a good question. I think I'm continually inspired by art and photography. I don't know that I necessarily go look at one specific piece and say, okay, I'm gonna copy that. But I definitely I have a background in art and art history, and I've like studied and been to like billions of museums, and I love looking at art and consuming art and photos. So I definitely think that I'm inspired, like intentionally and also subconsciously, by other work. But I also think at this point in my career, I have a personal style and a signature style that will come out kind of no matter what I'm making.
Mm, I love that answer so much. And now I'm looking at one of these and it's like animating. Like, how did that happen? Like, did that just come from inspiration, or were you experimenting with like one image and you're like, I wish this would move? Like, how was that born?
Can I ask which image that is, or so I can?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah. I'm looking at one where the girl's face is changing like every 2 seconds on a mirror, and I love it.
Oh yes. Okay. So yes, so this was a test shoot I did with a model in Boston and this amazing makeup artist. Natalie Chafee is the makeup artist, and Mary is the model. And I found this mirror like years prior, and I just had it in my car. Like my car is like literally just like full of random props, like a tiara, shoes, like just the most insane things. So this mirror has been with me in my like trunk now for like 3 years, and we were doing this like really bright, colorful test shoot for the makeup, and then I was like, let me go to my car and like get this weird prop, and we shot her looking into it. And then when I was like editing the film later, I was like, oh my god, wouldn't it be so cool to just like have the colors just like shift around and play. Um, and so I just made like a little GIF out of it. I think GIF and video and motion like are super fun and like ways to make the piece feel more dynamic. Um, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things about your work, where it's like going and like some of your newer like animated like photography stuff. Like, it really excites
Yeah.
me, and I think a lot of other photographers are starting to experiment in that, including myself. But so I don't know who you are. So tell us a little bit more about who you are, how people can like follow you and know your story. Like, what's the best way, and just tell us a little bit about your like a little bit more about you and that.
Okay. Well, if people, I'm very active on Instagram. If people want to connect, I don't. It's such a long name. It's Siobhan Beasley Photography. SIOBHANBEASLEY photography. So that's going to be hard. Um, but yeah, so I have like many lives. I feel like I've lived in this lifetime. I have always been an artist, but never believed it was something you could do as a career, because I was just told from a young age, kind of like, you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer. So I was pre med and then quit that. And then I became a lawyer. So, but still doing art and like studying art on the side is like my minor. And then I just sort of hit a wall at a certain point and was like, there's just no way I can continue doing this because my soul is dying. And if I don't do art, I would rather like not be alive anymore. So I just switched and I started doing photography, and went back to school for it. And I am like just happy as a clam. Sometimes I'm near tears when I leave a job, because I'm like, I can't believe I get paid to do this, because this is like literally what feeds my soul. And I'm so happy.
Oh my
Um,
God,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing, Siobhan. Siobhan Beasley, everyone. Thank you so much for submitting your work. We're so happy to have your work in the gallery, and everyone will be able to see her work if you click on her photos in the gallery. Her website's actually on there, and it tells you a little bit about her work. So please, everyone, go check out Siobhan Beasley. She's one of my favorite photographers I've known in my small community here in Boston, and I always super recommend a lot of students that are getting into photography or people that are interested in like graphic design. I usually actually send them uh, her website so they can get inspired and be like, this is what you could do with your art. And so, yeah, thank you again, Siobhan, for coming and showing us a little bit about you.